All right, so when are we going to finally resist fascism in America? I think it's about time now. We have a white supremacist dictator running this country and a bunch of evil corporate oligarchs controlling us, poisoning our food supply, poisoning our air, poisoning our water, and messing people up, and there's no accountability for any of that. Yet, our communist government is totally fine with throwing kids of color and their families in concentration camps to rot all across the U.S. that taxpayers are funding. And all these conservative Christians and white supremacist Republicans don't have an issue with it. They won't speak out against it because they're rich and they're white, so none of this negatively affects them. When people of color are rotting in concentration camps, they just don't care until it finally affects rich white people and their luxurious lives with their fancy cars and luxurious vacations they take all the time. Even with all this crap going on, they're not going to care. Until it negatively affects them, they're not going to care about it. No one's going to speak out against this white supremacist dictator we have running this country because the people of rich white privilege are benefiting from it. Getting a bunch of tax cuts, and all these big oil companies are getting billions of dollars in handouts a year. Even more now under Trump, to continue to screw us over and contaminate our natural world. And yet the gas prices have gone through the roof. And all these stupid, dumb Republicans say, oh, it's this war in Iran going on, so it's just the natural way how supply and demand works. And that's total BS. It's all price gouging, it's all greed, it's all a game that these big corporate oligarchs can play. Anytime a war, a pandemic, or something happens, they can just gouge up the prices and screw us over. And that's how it works. And all these Republicans, white supremacist Republicans, don't have a problem with it. They just say, oh, it's simple supply and demand, when it's not. It's just our communist government in cahoots with these big, evil corporations. That's what it is. And they don't have a problem with it. Gas prices could rise to $200 a gallon. And all these conservatives would still feel that it's our patriotic duty to pay taxes to our government that subsidizes these bastards and to support them and just pay the price in gas. And they'll still go on vacations because it doesn't affect them. They have plenty of money, so they'll just take vacations still and have fun in their luxurious lives and lifestyles. And they don't care because none of this crap that this dictator is doing and that these corporate oligarchs do is affecting them yet. At this point, eventually it'll probably affect all of us because fascism is rising in this country. And until it does affect rich white people, then nothing's going to happen to stop this. Nothing's going to stop this white supremacist from escalating this. And, that's a problem. No one wants to give up living in luxury to stand up for those who are suffering in this country under this dictatorship. And until that happens, this is just going to escalate. I mean, the only way we could really fight this in a true capitalistic free market system would be for everyone to just quit their jobs, go on a strike in this country. Or anyone who financially can for a while, or who works for an evil corporation to just quit their jobs immediately. And then just go on strike. And then just hunker down and embrace minimalism. Quit spending money on luxury stuff. Quit going out to eat. Quit going on vacations. Burning gas and supporting these bastards in the oil companies. Just hunker down, embrace minimalism, quit working. That's the only way we're going to stop this from happening, is if we just shut this whole economy down in a natural way with the will of the people. It's just coming together and saying enough is enough. And therefore, if less people are working, less taxes dollars the government can get from us. And that's the only way we can shut this whole oligarchy down. And until people are finally willing to do that, this is just going to escalate until this country falls and turns into a dictatorship, just like Germany did in the 1930s. I mean, it's going from bad to worse. I've seen a lot in the last few years a lot of red flags that have really made me realize this country isn't so free like I was brainwashed in school that it was. From the COVID pandemic, they shut a bunch of businesses down. They forced people to take these vaccinations that murdered a bunch of people. They made all these mandates. They made more rules and regulations on the individual people. And that was a huge red flag to me of what the people in control are trying to do to us. And then to make matters worse, they vote for a white supremacist dictator again, 3 times in a row, and that's what we have. It's just escalating, going from bad to worse. I mean, it's just a mess. And the only way we can stop this is by shutting this economy down in a free market way. Our communist government did it in a forceful way during COVID, which was totally morally wrong, by the way. All of us people in this country could do it in an at-will way, where we come together and just do like a nationwide strike. Say, we're done. We're not working for these evil corporations anymore, and we're gonna make it so our taxable income is super low, so we can beat the system and not pay money to these bastards and the whole Nazi regime that's taken over anymore. And we're gonna just shut this whole economy down. We're gonna embrace minimalism, quit supporting the oil companies. Don't take cross-country trips. Don't take vacations. And this is the only way we're gonna stop this. I mean, it'd be very uncomfortable in a lot of ways, but I mean, that's the only way we can come together and just stop this white supremacy from escalating. And until people are willing to quit living in luxury and come together to fight against this, nothing's going to happen. It's just going to escalate what the people in control are doing. The oligarchs and the big corporations, our white supremacist dictator. And it's going to just keep going. And our tax dollars are funding this crap. And just quit playing by the rules, people. Quit playing by the rules and following the rules, because you're never going to get ahead doing that. All these rules and regulations and laws that government makes, seems like so many of them go into favor with the big corporations that control us and control the whole economy. Because they don't have to follow any rules and regulations. They can contaminate our air and water, mess up our natural world, and they get free subsidies to do it. But somehow, if you want to build a house on your piece of land, you have all these building permits and all these regulations you got to follow. Just to drive my car I got to pay liability insurance every month. I don't get any coverage for it. It's just liability insurance that I'm forced to get. I mean, that ain't right. But somehow, because these corporations got control, they don't have to follow any accountability. But somehow, if I break a little law, then I'll get a felony for it, or any of us will. And I don't get why anyone sees it that way. They just see it as that we got to play by the rules and it's patriotic to do that. It's not. Quit following the rules. Quit playing by the rules. The government is just trying to take us over. They're all in cahoots with the corporate oligarchs, and so they can mess us up, control our economy, gain massive profits and control. That's what they did during COVID. Bunch of more billionaires were made, and the working and the middle class suffered. And they're going to continue to do that until people finally say enough is enough. And we've reached that point where enough is enough. And just keep that in the back of your mind and start talking about it more. Post it on social media, and remember, We can stop this together, but everyone has to be on board. And all these conservatives aren't. None of this negatively affects them at this point yet, so they're just going to continue living in luxury, and they'll worship our dictator and the oligarchs that he's in cahoots with without questioning anything. And then you have a lot of Democrats. They sugarcoat everything. They're complicit. They're not willing to do anything to stop this because they're too complicit and they don't want to be uncomfortable either. So it's just a big mess. But until something big happens, like a nationwide strike, this country's only going to get worse and worse. And the longer we wait, the worse it's going to get. This dictator is getting more power every day. His Nazi regime with Hegseth and all these other creeps, they're getting more and more power every day. So they can go blow up schools in Iran and then gouge up the prices of gas and say it's because we need to fund this war, it's patriotic, and so that oil companies can continue to make massive profits off of us. And it's all a big scam. This whole country, it's all just a big scam. I was raised and brainwashed in government school about how America is a free country and we have a Bill of Rights and we have free speech. And right now I've seen a lot of that taken, especially since 2020, the COVID. It was kind of the climax of what's happening. And to think that this country voted for this white supremacist 3 times in a row and he's running again and no one's doing anything to stop him, that really makes me realize how this country isn't that free. And I want it to be free. I want it to be a country that is free and has compassion for people who are down on their luck. The people who are rotting in concentration camps right now, they deserve compassion for what they're going through, but conservatives don't give a crap about them because they give them this naming that they're illegal immigrants. Well, I really don't care if they're illegal. Yeah, it would be good if everyone was here legally documented, but if they're not criminals, what have they done to harm anyone? I mean, take a look at all the politicians who make the laws and the corporations they're in cahoots with. They're the ones who are messing people up and have destroyed this country and taken our freedom away. And all the conservatives that support them without questioning anything. That's the reason why this country sucks. It's not because of illegal immigrants taking our jobs. That's just a bunch of BS that the corporations and the Republican Party has tried brainwashing everyone with. And it's ridiculous that a lot of the population in this country has bit into this crap. They buy into it, and it really shows how stupid most Americans are, which is an embarrassment to me. It makes me embarrassed to live in this country. If I was going to go to Canada or any other country, I wouldn't even go right now. I'd be so embarrassed of myself to say I'm from America. To say, yeah, that we live in a country where a white supremacist dictator who claims he's a Christian, and we voted for him 3 times in a row. And he will run again in 2028. He'll be voted again in 2028. And the conservatives would vote for him again without questioning it because there's just brainwashing to thinking he's a god, that he's their savior. And hey, I've had enough. I mean, quit listening to what you're told by the government, and conservatives especially, and quit playing by the rules. We need to get ready to go on a nationwide strike and stop this, people. We gotta fight this. We just gotta fight it. And the only way we're gonna fight it is if everyone is willing to do this. And even if it means being uncomfortable, not taking vacations and stuff for a while. It's what we got to do to stop this fascism from getting worse. We got to fight, fight, fight.